Shoney's, Sonic, Jack's. I just really want there to be a place where I can get a beer.
The winter rains have given way to summer rains, and it's time to hit the trail again. I had an aborted attempt that got rained out by Hurricane Alberto a couple of weeks ago, but now I've got a solid 5 days off. Right at the end of June, I'll be coming back just before the 4th of July so that I can rest up a little bit over the holiday. The bike's loaded up. Everything's looking fantastic. I've got my luggage options really well worked out at this point, and I feel like it's going to be a very successful trip. So it's time to get on the road.
Man, I'm already hot. It's freaking 90 degrees out.
As I left the house bound for Tennessee, a week-long heat wave was settling in over the southern U.S., and I knew immediately that I would have to keep an eye on my temperature both on and off the bike.
My hope is that I can make it out of Tennessee, which has been my sticking point the last 2 times I've done this. I'm interested to see what the tat turns into once you're no longer in the Tennessee mountains. Goodbye, Atlanta traffic. I'll see you in hell. Like, seriously, Google, this is what you came up with? Atlanta may have a lot of problems, but I'm almost out of the city now. It's a beautiful day so far. It's actually pretty cool since it rained this morning. So it might get really cold if it rains on me. But it is like 90 degrees for the next 5 days, so I'm not too concerned about hypothermia. I keep hearing jackhammers and being like, is something wrong with my bike? And then I'm like, oh no, it's a jackhammer. That's why it sounds like a jackhammer. Because of the jackhammer. It's hard to believe that all this will be condos one day. What's kind of amazing about Atlanta is what you see right here. Like, as soon as you get outside the city center, you start getting into the hills. Well, at least if you go west or north. If you go east or south, you might accidentally end up in Florida. All right, well, I'm gonna cut the camera off, so just imagine that we're passing abandoned gas stations for the next 6 miles. Well, I stopped off at the local Christian chicken joint, and the sky is looking tumultuous, to say the least. Well, this was the wrong time to do this. La la la. This is fascinating. There's like slow trains and then there's slow trains. And this one, I think, might be a slow train. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a reasonably serious thunderstorm. Oh, God. Yay, adventure motorcycling. God damn, I do know how to pick them. I'm freezing and it's like 80 degrees.
I wasn't about to let more rain ruin my first day out, but the intensity of summer storms in northwest Georgia cannot be overstated.
This one I might legitimately wait out for a minute. I'm on my way out of Rome for the second time, heading back into rain. So here's hoping I can just kind of plow through this next couple of hours. Well, I had to pull over because for the millionth time, the rain is messing with my maps. This was a huge problem on the last trip. It's becoming a significant issue on this trip. The rain itself, not that bad. This weather is certainly completely doable. but having to fiddle with things in the rain all the time with touchscreens that don't work when they're wet is just death by 1,000 cuts. Sure is pretty out here when you get past how frickin' angry I am at all my equipment right now.
The air was soupy with rain as I wound my way into the Smokies, making for some tedious riding.
There's a truck up there. We're doing 20-something miles per hour, and I do think I'll probably stay the night in Jasper again, just because I'm already feeling a little, like, frustrated and soaked and tired. The almost 4-hour ride from Atlanta to Jasper turned into about a 6.5-hour ride between the slowness of trucks on the mountains and me stopping to get out of the thunderstorm and all the other little delays. The whole day got eaten up. Well, this is Kimball, Tennessee, and I'm not staying at the Super 8, but they had a gravel lot and I haven't been off-road all day, so and there's my Best Western. I'm excited about that. I will be picking up something to eat, but I am going to do it at El Toril, which is actually really good. 127, home sweet home. I am not going to lock my keycard in the room 5 minutes after I walk in this time. The chair is still a little stained from where I put some wet stuff last time, so I'll be a little more conscientious this time. Don't need my key to fall into the air vent. So as I explained on the bike, I mean, it took me longer to get here than I would have hoped because of the weather. So I'm just gonna change clothes, grab maybe a couple of maps to look at, head out and pick up some beer from Walmart and get some Mexican food. I might do an update later, but if not, I'll see you then. Well, I survived the night, and not only did I survive it, I drank a few too many margaritas.
He made me feel like he had it.
He made me feel like he had it too.
So I've eaten some breakfast, and now I am just prepping to head out. As you can see, it is a much nicer day as promised, so I think this is going to be a little bit more relaxing of a ride. Looking forward to hitting some dirt today.
I left Kimball that morning heady with nervous energy. I felt somehow that I had an appointment with fate, like whatever good or bad lay beyond the next hill was already waiting for me under the intense blue of the Tennessee sky, just out of earshot, a tune that was only just too quiet to recognize.
Nothing but cornfields and mountains out here, boys. Cornfields and mountains. And majestic soaring eagles. I mean, really, there is one. I was just getting some drone footage, but got another couple of guys coming by here. Yeah, it's the first time I've had it out, so I've been playing with it for a few minutes, but...
Well, we were supposed to do that today. We lost our support vehicle.
Oh, yeah?
We're like, okay, follow us today and see if we can get some drone footage.
Right. Well, have a good one, man. Take it easy. Nice. Hopefully that'll result in some decent footage.
Spoiler alert, it didn't. Due to some technical difficulties, I actually didn't get any usable drone footage on this trip. Always check your equipment before you leave the house.
Oh man, what a fantastic afternoon for a ride. Woo! Corn as high as a KTM rider's asshole. Tennessee has had some pretty rough weather recently, and as I get onto smaller roads, you can tell. Don't think any cars have been through here recently for sure. Hey, we're off asphalt for the first time today. I do wonder how much of this was completely unpaved when Sam did this the first time. Because I gotta tell you, today has been pretty much all roads.
I spent a lot of the morning lost in thought, carving a dusty orange trail through the greens and blues of Middle Tennessee. The route here is full of arcing turns and stretches of sunlit, open pavement. The towns are few and far between, but houses and farms dot the landscape.
Just stopped for a little drone footage, and God, it is hot out here. Oh, just running off of me. I would not want to be out here changing a tire or something like that. It is warm. You will not forget it's summer in the South. I also really kind of need to take a piss, and perhaps even more than that. So I'm kind of on the lookout for a wooded area, but this is all farmland, and I mean, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, but I haven't really been on a road that isn't near houses for a while, so great day for it. Clouds are coming in now. It's supposed to rain in the afternoon. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, these people have to get gas and food somewhere. I would love to live on one of these plots of land where you just have water just springing up from the mountain and rolling down your front yard.
And then, apropos of nothing, civilization. See if we'll get some gas. Take a legally sanctioned piss.
Ew, they have a nice pool. I would not mind a dip, I'll tell you that. In fact, I've been half thinking that if I come across a campground next to a river or lake, I might do just that. He knows where I'm going. Let's do it, buddy. What, you're not gonna come this way? Why the hell are you going that way? Man, that was anticlimactic. I thought I'd get some footage of his ass just running alongside me, but nope. End road work. What road work? What is that? Road work ahead. Okay.
Morning had become early afternoon, and the call of the unknown was slowly losing out to the whine of nobbies and the jostling of luggage. I was doing my best to stay alert, but as the trail wound endlessly ahead of me, my mind began to wander.
Hoping to find a real town before too long. Not because I'm looking for a place to stop yet, but just because I'm starting to get fatigued and I feel like I'm losing some focus. What is that? Oh, bird. See, I'm going kind of nuts. I'm just pulled over to stop for a minute, give myself a little break. Oh man, I feel like road crazy, you know? The vibration and the paying attention and watching directions. All this, it's just a lot. Might try and stop by 6:30, something like that. Just because it's just a lot of riding. Oh man. Road work ahead. Promises, promises. I mean, man, there is no better way to see America. That's for damn sure. You would just never see this side of the country unless you're on these little back roads. Road work ahead. Surprise, surprise. There's a bunch of road work going on. You see all the dudes in their orange vests with their jackhammers and shit? See it?
And so I rode on, doing everything in my power to keep my energy and focus at a safe level. I had spent hours fighting heat, time, and fatigue, but as it would turn out, my trials for the day had only just begun.
So, I've had to pull over because something is wrong with the bike. And I know what it is. I'm just very unhappy about it. Oh man, Jump the bead too. That's not good. That is flat as hell. Actually, in reality, this is about the best place it could have happened. Maybe not the number one best, but compared to where I was even 20 minutes ago, this is where I need to be. Definitely don't see anything. All right, buddy. Have you any pressure? No. Yeah, it's not holding any air at all. Well, I found the issue. There is definitely nothing went through the tire. Something on the inside of the rim was the problem, and did this. So what happened is the rim tape has slipped and exposed one of the nipples, and it just bit right through. I have a spare tube, but it's for the front, but it'll be kind of folded up and crammed inside the smaller rim, or inside the smaller tire, so it's not optimal. So I'm wondering if I should try and repair this one. I've never done it. Yeah, I don't know, I might give it a shot. So I've got it patched, but I'm not sure it's gonna hold. That's a big area to patch. And the kit only came with a very tiny bit of glue. Yeah, it's not gonna hold, which I'm not surprised about. I can get it inflated, but there's definitely a slow leak, and I don't have any more rubber cement to fill that leak in. It's just too big of a hole. So, guess I'll try getting the front in there. Well, the new tube is in. That part wasn't too tough. The tire's nice and warm from the road, so it didn't give me too much trouble. Now I just gotta see if it's actually gonna bead with the improper tube size in there. I'm a little worried. So it actually looks like it may bead up all right. It's not showing quite all the way around yet, but I mean, that's a tire. So it looks like there's a town called Lawrenceburg that's 10 miles down this road that has a Walmart and some hotels. Yeah, I think that'll be the end of my day, one way or the other. So time to mount up. You may notice that it's substantially darker than it was when I stopped filming. The long story short is that I could not, for the life of me, get the caliper to stay in place while I mounted the wheel when it was on the ground.
As I set out for Lawrenceburg in fading light, I found myself, as always, impressed by the earnest helpfulness of the people around me.
So I struggled and struggled and struggled, knowing the whole time that a stand would probably resolve the entire issue. And this old dude pulled in asking me if I needed anything, and I said, "No, I'm okay. The guy across the street has offered to help." And apparently they were friends, so they chatted for a second, and then I said, "You know what? F it." He had a couple of car jack stands, and I took the bash plate off, and we put the jack stands under the frame. It took all of 10 minutes with the proper tools, which in this case was just a stand. Because basically the problem was, with the bike laid on its side, the tolerances between the swing arm and the wheel bearings, the tolerances are very, very tight. And they've gotten tighter since I put on this cush hub. So yeah, I just had so much trouble with it, and that all it required was a stand. I need to think about, if that were to happen again, and it were to happen next to a cornfield where there aren't any stumps and there aren't any trees and there aren't any cinder blocks and there aren't any neighbors, how would I get that tire mounted back on? But I do know that that sucked. I really want to get off the road too. I don't do a lot of riding at night, and this bike, well, to be fair, nighttime's probably the only time you can see the little LED tail light on this bike, but it still doesn't make me feel fantastic. Okay, let's see if I can decide on a place to stay tonight. Whew. What a day, my friends. What a day. Man, I would just really like a cold beer. I don't know if that's gonna happen tonight, though. Ugh. Ponderosa Steakhouse sounds like a place that's gonna serve me a beer. Simple rooms, free Wi-Fi, right across from a steakhouse. You had me at simple rooms, free Wi-Fi, and right across from a steakhouse.
So, I'd love to relax for a minute, but priority one is getting over to that steakhouse before they close. So I'm just gonna unload the bike and run over there as fast as I can because I've only got about an hour. I gotta tell you, this is a pretty sketchy hotel. I mean, I don't really give too much of a crap about the room, though it does kind of smell. But not only was the staff, if you could call her that, completely unfriendly, uninterested, and extraordinarily slow, and also accusatory in strange ways. It's also just the people here, dude. So I'm putting the lock on the bike again tonight, even though it doesn't alarm. At least it gives the appearance of being secured. And hoping it's there when I come back from the steakhouse, much less when I wake up in the morning. Well, I'm back. The steakhouse was a buffet and they didn't serve beer, so I walked to a Mexican restaurant, which can always be counted on to have booze. But honestly, I'm so tired and so dehydrated. It was just such a long day that by the time I sat down, if you've ever been hungry for so long that you stop being hungry, I mean, it's one thing to ride for 10 hours a day, it's another to change a tire at the end of it. But it's done. Thank goodness it's done. Thank goodness I'm sitting in a hotel room that the air conditioner is supposedly trying to cool off. And I'm done for the day, man. No more bike right now. Take it easy.